right. Welcome to the morning tea. My name is Annie Hunting and I am with Sage Stone Malas. And the morning tea was started out of a desire to share all of the incredible people I know and their knowledge, their offerings, and it's been a lot of fun to do. So today I have Carley Woodhouse. Carley is a registered massage therapist, an animal massage therapist, an animal Reiki practitioner, a certified aromatherapist. As you can see, she wears many, many hats. I'm super excited to have her on today. She's going to talk to us a little bit about essential oils and great ones that we can be tapping into right now to support our well-being. Carley, welcome.
Thank you. Hello.
Carley, start us off. What do you got in your mug today?
Well, I have my favorite, and it will always go back to green tea. I love it. And I always usually have, I might drink way too much green tea in a day, to be honest.
It's a good thing to drink too much of. It could be much worse.
Mm-hmm. So that is what is in my mug.
Yeah. I opted for coffee today. I snuck a little bit of Bailey's in there. This is the mug my friend gave me. It says Social Distancing Queen, which is a lot of fun.
You want to know a random fact? I've never had coffee.
Wow. Good for you.
Actually, I think that might be a lie. I had a cappuccino once, but it was too sweet. So yeah.
I've been trying to balance things with tea, but every so often. I had a late night last night, so it was a coffee day. All right. What are you grateful for today, Carley?
I am grateful for the ability to move my body. Movement is important, my family, and the paths that the universe have allowed me to cross with.
Beautiful. Today I'm feeling super grateful for time to play with my son and social media. I mean, in this time, I'm so grateful that we have the access to each other and the ability to still be able to run my business, even though, the markets, the workshops, all of that is at a halt. So yeah, I'm grateful for that. All right. So Carley, what got you into oils? Now, maybe I'll let you do a little bit of an introduction to yourself and what brought you to using essential oils, and where did you find your passion for them?
Okay, ironically speaking, this is going to go add on to another hat that I wear. I was actually a reflexologist and working in law enforcement before I even went back to school to become a massage therapist. So it was literally reflexology that got me to start researching about essential oils, just because of the history with reflexology too, right? Like going back to Egypt and what they used. So that's how I actually started researching about oils and kind of playing around with different brands, different types. And I also started reading up on something called endocrine disruptors, because I had a lot of issues with the endocrine system. And then I realized I could swap oils and use plant-based products and make my own things in order to clear my home out of some of the things that might have been causing some of the issues for myself, health-wise. So that in a nutshell is where I started. And then I went back to school for massage therapy. And I went ahead and did more research again, because I thought, if I'm using this in my practice, if I'm using this around animals, I need to know the safety behind it, how to use it, what can and what can't, allergies that people might have. So I went down another hole and I took my aromatherapy certification, because I wanted that knowledge base so that I could actually safely speak to people about how they could use it.
Yeah.
And literally that is how essential oils came into my life.
Amazing. Now, Carley specifically deals with Young Living. How did you get into the Young Living
Funny story. Like I said, I was using other brands before, so I went to a trade show once, and somebody told me that I could use this oil and it would help me with emotional wellness. And I thought, okay, but then that item was out of stock, and I'd signed up there because with Young Living here in Canada, at least, you don't have to buy a starter kit to become a member. You can literally just sign up and order what you want to use. So I signed up to order it, and it was out of stock. So my account lapsed, and and then again, when I started doing more research, and I wanted to look for quality, I wanted to look for sustainability, I wanted to look for kind of transparency when it comes to it. And when I found out that Young Living owns their own farms and has partnership co-op farms all globally that anyone can go on, you don't even have to be a member. And they're seed to seal, the fact that they have lot numbers on each bottle, that kind of, I was against MLMs too. I was one of those people. So I was more researching it to like be against it. And I feel I'm funny because here I am, and I'm a huge supporter. But I signed up again when I went home because my friend had she's like, here, you might want to use these in your practice. And she just like dumps this Tupperware container. I'm like, oh, I know that company. Like, no. And then I did research, and then without her even asking, I signed up with my own kit just so that I could have all the oils. And that's kind of how I ended up with Young Living. And I've been able to go to the farms and been able to plant seeds and see the process, go into like a tour and see the scientists working on the distilleries and testing the oils. So it was a no-brainer for me to go with them.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I actually met Carley at a Christmas market in Calgary. She came into my booth, and I swear it was just divine timing that we connected. After that, Carley asked me to come and be a vendor at an event that she was actually organizing called Illuminate, which was incidentally the last market that I was at prior to COVID exploding and everything kind of getting shut down. And I have to say that I am just so grateful to have been at this event. I met so many incredible people. There was a panel of speakers, very inspired, knowledgeable, amazing speakers that you had brought from all over the place, really, across Canada and the United States, that were speaking to things like well-being and self-improvement. And it was a very inspired place to be prior to entering this time of solitude and self exploration and turning inward, right? Yeah. So thank you for inviting me to be there.
Oh, I'm just happy that you came.
Yeah. Oh, it was fantastic. So I'm also going to post the link to this event. There is an event page still up somewhere?
Yeah, it's a public page. I will be planning on doing another one. I don't know when now.
Right.
But it will happen again, and it will be probably more to do with holistic health and wellness, and still the personal development side, because I do think that that's a huge piece, and doing the inner work is huge in order to be able to kind of
it's all tied into one another. Right?
Everything. Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the meat here. Carley was going to tell us about some of the oils that she recommends for well-being, and I think that right now we could all use all the support that we can get when it comes to maintaining a really good mental, emotional, physical well-being. So Carley, I'm going to hand it off to you, and you can tell us what you got.
Okay, so it was very difficult for me to narrow it down to a few oils. So I narrowed it down to 6. I could have done a whole lot more. But I chose 3 blends and then 3 single oils that I think are amazing and well-rounded. So when I think of emotional well-being, I really tend to think about getting back to nature and outside and grounding yourself, because I think that is a huge way to connect to yourself, to breathe again, to be able to move forward and to kind of work with some things that are happening that you may not have any control over. So my 2 go-to oils, always tree oils when it comes to grounding for me, is frankincense and Northern Lights black spruce. So I am never without these 2 oils. Black spruce is an amazing oil. This one's actually a Canadian oil. So Young Living has a farm up in Fort Nelson, British Columbia, and this is where they make this oil.
This is my favorite oil. My favorite. It came with my my starter kit, and it is the one that, I mean, I don't, my like you initially, my account has long lapsed, but that is the one that I will seek out my Young Living friend to be like, yeah, I need more of this.
Yes. And frankincense, like I said, is just it's just such an emotionally grounding oil. You can use it in meditation, you can just breathe it in, you can diffuse it. And we have Swiss Army oil, and this will be talked about in all of the aromatherapy world. Doesn't matter which brand, which company you go with, is lavender. Now, luckily here in Canada with our lavender, it's registered for a natural health product with Health Canada with research. So we can actually say that it helps with muscle pain, aches and strains, with any kind of rheumatoid arthritis. And
see, I didn't know that. I thought lavender was lavender is one I always use for calming. You know, I've got several blends that are used, using the diffuser at night.
Yes.
I didn't know that. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's been researched by Health Canada, so you can actually say that. I can say that. But it also, again, it helps with relaxation, and ironically, it can help with cough and cold, with inhalation. And it acts as an anti-spasmodic if you have digestive issues. You can just kind of put it on your belly and it'll help. So another thing about lavender, though, is that some people have adverse effects with lavender. So sometimes instead of calming, it can actually enhance your emotions and actually kind of get you motivated. Right. So again, you have to test it out. Every body is different and reacts to oils differently, right? So then the 3 blends: Stress Away, which again has been researched to say that it helps with calming and relaxation. And it is this is the oil I would use during the day, my own self, because it smells kind of like a beach. Mm-hmm. It's got vanilla in it, and it's pre-diluted, so it's safe to kind of put on your skin too. So I'll touch base on that after if you'd like, because I think people need to learn how to use oils properly before they get into them. And then Peace and Calming is one of the staples I use to sleep, and in fact, my son uses this one every night. So with children, you have to pre-dilute it. It's pre-diluted, but I dilute it a little bit more just for safety. Yeah. And I follow Robert Tisserand's guidelines for that, and he's amazing when it comes to aromatherapy. So most aromatherapy schools teach from his books. So I put 2 drops in a 10 milliliter roller bottle, and I top it with a carrier oil, and he puts it on himself at night. So
awesome. That's one that I have found in the past to be sold out. So I know it's really popular.
Yes. Yeah. And that one's also a registered health product here in Canada. But the oil that I wanted to get when I first signed up when my account lapsed was Valor. So Valor in itself it's an empowering blend, and it helps to increase feelings of strength, courage, and self-esteem. And again, it's got a carrier oil already in it. So I can either smell it. I never diffuse it because I don't want to waste it. I'm sure it smells great diffused. I've just never done it. I put it on my wrists, or I put it on the back of my neck, or I just smell it with me. This one is such a popular oil, and it's usually a lot of people's gateway oil into getting a Young Living account. It's limited to 1 per account now, to make sure people get it and to make sure the sustainability for the plants too.
Now, is that one in the starter kit?
Not anymore.
It might. I feel like I have that one and I just never really knew what to do with it. I'm going to pull it out today.
Honestly, just put it, yeah. This is literally what I do. So it has blue tansy in it, so it looks kind of blue and color and purple. Yeah. So I put a little bit on my wrist, and I do that, and I breathe it in, or I just sniff it right from the bottle. In your starter kit, it came with like those metal roller bottles.
Yeah.
So you can even pop off the plastic part, put it in, and then it creates its own little roller bottle too.
Right.
So that's another trick if you want to use it. So those are the 6 oils, the 3 blends, the 3 singles that I recommend to help with emotional balancing and to calm yourself, and to even just, it's almost like a little break.
Right.
A little break in a bottle.
So how can we use, my Northern Lights, I always diffuse it. But what are the other ways that we can use our oils?
So typically speaking, oils can be used aromatically. So again, with diffusing, smelling from a bottle, if you can create your own diffusers with felt, even with some of your jewelry, there's diffuser, there's the lava beads. So they hold the scent of the oil, and you can just have it there. It's kind of like a walking diffuser. Clothespins, it's a really cheap way to make like a car diffuser. You can just put some on and you put it on the vent and it comes out.
Oh, that's genius.
Yeah, so those are just a few little ways that you can kind of make your own diffusers and just breathe it in. But typically speaking, I would say the most popular way to use an essential oil is through aromatic use. There's topical use, like I spoke about too. Some blends already have a carrier oil in it, so it's safe to put on, but you always should test it before you do that. There are hot oils. All the citrus oils can be photosensitive, so they do recommend that if you put even lemon on your skin, that you wait 24 hours before you kind of expose that area to the sun.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So that's something that I try to tell people a lot of, because some people just love citrus, so they'll just put it on, and sometimes they'll put it on without a carrier oil, and they're like, oh, I'm red, it's burning. I'm like, did you use a carrier oil? Like, you can't. So there's, if you go to the Robert Tisserand website, there's always dilution charts on how to utilize the hot oils safely. Typically speaking, I dilute a lot with children, right? So it's it all depends on the age as well. So
right,
from infants to newborns to babies to toddlers to kids, all the way up until 15, and then once you're 15 plus, you can kind of gauge your own body and use it that way.
Sorry. On the bottle, I realize every line's going to be different, but on the Young Living bottles, does it say if it's been diluted or not?
It should. So anything that's a blend should already have a dilution. So, where are you? I'm trying to find, what's Valor? Valor has, I believe Valor, no, it's not going to show me, of course. If I'm not mistaken, I think there's sweet almond oil in one of these. So that's another thing too. If someone has an allergy, right, to nuts, you have to find which carrier oil would be best for you as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I sprung that on you.
No, that's a good question. That's awesome, because this one does. And even then, it tells you how to mix it into a carrier oil as well.
Perfect.
It gives you all the directions on how to do it all behind. You have to peel it back
Okay.
Everything is.
Oh, see, that's good to know. I didn't know that was
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
But I'll also post the link to the webpage you mentioned, so people can have a look there too to kind of do
Yeah. It's always good to have the dilution chart available for yourself anyhow, just for ease of mind. And Young Living also has a white label line too. So there in the aromatherapy world, there are people that say yes, it's safe to ingest, and then there's people that say never ingest an essential oil ever.
Yeah.
But Young Living has the Plus line here in Canada, so there's actually a frankincense plus oil. So I do put a drop of frankincense in my water every day. It has kind of like a woodsy taste to it. It's so good. But it shows the directions on it too, and it's labeled for food and drink flavoring, and it's approved to be up here for that purpose. I always recommend people to follow the directions and also to listen to their own body as well.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Now, you had mentioned when we were speaking before that Canada now has an animal line and a line for children.
Yes.
Can you just speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, so there's the Animal Sense line. I use it on my dog. Do you want me to go around and grab a bottle? Literally.
You can, yeah, sure.
So this is just one of them. So it's a green label. It just came to Canada about a couple of months ago. So they do have it in the States, but these have been relabeled for Canadian use. So this one, it's called Pet Care. So my guy, he's a rescue, and sometimes he can feel a little bit anxious. He has a lot of separation anxiety. So what I typically do is animals have a tendency to obviously their smell is a lot stronger, or they can pick up, their olfactory is amazing. So what I do is I just kind of wave it close to him because he'll pick it up and then he'll smell it right away, or I'll put a drop or two on their bed.
Okay. And so this particular one that you're showing me now, this one, what is it called?
Pet Care.
Okay, so there's just that piece and it's for anxiety.
It's for helping with helping relax the animals. And again, it all, when you pull it back, everything is all on the label on how to use it.
Perfect.
So everything's there safely. The kids line, my child uses it like crazy. There's Kids Care. It has helichrysum oil in it, which is great for skin.
Yeah.
So if he falls and hurts himself, sometimes he asks for his yellow oil because it has a yellow label. I think I might have it there. I'm not sure.
That's okay.
Got a whole bunch in his room, but yes, there's a whole entire kids line that's already, again, those ones are pre-diluted. It's on there. It tells you how to use them. Amazing, because it's teaching kids how to kind of learn themselves how to use different means and
how to reach for those tools.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So kids line, and then there's a babies line too. It's called Seedlings. So there's even a seedlings oil that's for newborns and infants.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. So for any of you who don't have, a Young Living person already, Carley is fantastic. She is very, very knowledgeable. So if you're looking for something, you want to access one of these oils that she's talked about today, or something else that you've used in the past, I will post the methods for contacting Carley so that you can reach her. Carley, is there anything else that you want to share with us? Any offerings or, anything you want to promote?
Every month, Young Living comes out with new monthly gifts to give to their members. So, that is just something in itself. I got a 15 ml of frankincense free this month.
Nice.
Pretty huge, yeah, because that's almost $100.
Oh, wow, fantastic.
Yeah, and Northern Lights Black Spruce was one of the free gifts too.
Yeah.
And lavender. So no, that's a lie. It wasn't lavender. It was clary sage. But again. Oh, sorry. Lavender was one of them too. That's what I mean. Like they give out so many things every month. So they're pretty generous that way. What I'm offering is usually that if people, they get a welcome kit from me anyway, but anybody, because a lot of the storefronts that we have, like we have one in Calgary and there's one in Toronto, they're closed right now, obviously for the safety. So anybody who does want to have an account or whatever, I'm offering free shipping to them for their first order as well. So if that helps anybody out, then
fantastic. Every bit helps these days. Yeah. Awesome. The last thing that I want to ask you is, do you have like a great idea that we can like, whether it be an activity or something you've done with your family, something that we can do from home that, will keep us entertained?
If I'm honest, I'm going to tell everybody to just get outside when it's nice.
Yeah.
Everybody needs some vitamin D right now. And now that, whatever part of the world you're looking or watching from, here in Alberta, we've actually started to have spring now. So get outside, enjoy the sun, and, journaling's always great to do too, whether I find journaling before bed is a lot easier than journaling in the morning. So just getting those thoughts out. If you're feeling a little bit anxious, you can just write it down, because as soon as you write it down, it's like almost a sigh of relief. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Carley, thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning Tea today. I so appreciate your information, your knowledge, and yeah. And I look forward to having you back, because we need to talk more about the animal massage and Reiki. I want to talk about. Well, there's a few things that we could get into. So we'll see you again.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. Honestly, thank you again for having me.
Of course. All right, everybody. We will see you back on Monday, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks.